Welcome to part 2, which is actually part 1 of the Japanese bookbinding. I showed you my book yesterday that I completed, and I said that I'd already put holes in. I don't know if you can see there, and I'd already scored it. Well, I'm going to show you now how to do that. So what I've done is I've chosen all my postcards. These are ones that have actually been sent to me rather than ones I've collected like the last time. So you tap them loads of times to get it really, really flat on the bottom. And then what I do is I just take something flat and just gently do that so I can try and get it really nice and straight. Can you see that? And then what I do is I put this on, secure it there. And then what I have is this piece of paper with some holes in it. I don't know if you can see the holes. So what I've done is I've measured roughly how wide the postcards are. You fold that again and again and again as many times as you want. I folded it 8 times so I can do 4 or 8 holes. And then what I do is I place it on top. Very carefully line it up, but do it to the right edge though. That's the flat edge. That's where I'm actually going to be binding in. So I want to be clipping it on the opposite side. So when I've got my flat edge there, I pop that piece of paper on top, put my specs on. I couldn't afford those fancy ones that you can see out of when you look far away, so you'll have to excuse me peering over the top. So I take my awl. You can do this with anything that's got a sharp point, a darning needle, an awl, I don't know, I'm sure you can think of something, but just make sure that it's not going to snap and it's not going to hurt you or push into your hand, because you have to put quite a lot of force onto it. That's why there's that bit there. So very carefully I'll line it up. How I hold it is I hold it like that, and I use that to secure it on the side there, and I push down really, really hard as I can, and then I go into the next one and do it all the way along, which I've done. And then after that, because you're not going to be able to get through all of them, I take it apart and I find the one that's actually the last one that's got the holes in, and then I very carefully secure it again. Because I've got the holes already, I can make the holes all the way through. Okay, that's going to help me with putting the punch in the right places. Right, now you don't have to use a Japanese punch. You can just use these holes, but I really like the look of the Japanese punch holes, and I managed to borrow one. I think they're quite expensive, so I probably wouldn't have bought one myself. I would probably try to use just an awl, which is, they're about £5–6, and you could probably do that quite adequately. But the next thing I do is, so I've got the holes in there. You see that? The next thing I do is I get my punch. Put my specs on because I can't see otherwise. I don't know why, because it's a mat with lines on, I always like to line it up. And then again, using a finger for a guide, and push it down there. Now, the first couple of books I made was absolutely fine, but I had to stop last night because my shoulder was really aching. I think maybe because I'm sitting too low, I'm not sure. So maybe if I stand up, might be easier, because I'm putting the weight onto, I'm using my body weight on this rather than just my muscles. That's actually a little bit easier, but I'm not sure. I think this would start hurting my lower back after a while. So that's the only problem, is you have to put quite a lot of force onto it. So once you've got the little holes, sometimes if I don't push it hard enough, because I was talking. It gives a little chad there. Whoops, I don't want to show you my old postcards. And you just pull them out because you don't want the little things on the back because they'll make your book not flat enough. So once I've got the holes in, I'll line it up again. I just like lining things up. Right. So once I've got that, I use my little ruler. And I've already, yes, what I forgot to say was, once you've got all the holes, and while it's still clipped up, this is quite an important point which I forgot to mention. On here you can see I've got 2 lines. I've got the hole where the holes are, and then I've got where I want to score it. So I'll pop it back onto the flat side where the holes are, where I want to score it, and then along the top I draw a mark along the side there, so that when I put them down I can see where the mark is, so that they're roughly in the same place. If you want something perfect, you can try and use a machine, but part of the thing I like about this is the rustic look. So I think I found my mark. Hang on, let me just double check. If you're not sure, if you can't see it, just double check with that. Yep, I can see the little indentation there. Line it up again. Right, okay, so a little indentation there. So then I line it up with all the lines along the ruler so that I can make sure it's really nice and straight. And then I use this little scoring tool. These are about £5. It's called a bone scorer. I'm not sure if this is the right one to use. I've ordered a more pointy one, I think, which might be better for scoring. But some of the ink comes off the postcard, so it's not brilliant, but you can't really see it because it's in the crease. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it along here. Oh, that looks lovely. This makes a lovely score. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Yep. And then what I do is I gently lift it up and just gently ease it back with my fingers. And then with that, I just make it nice and straight and then flex it back a little bit. So you've got your score there. Okay. So I'm going to do that to all the rest of them. I've got a big stack there, it's going to take a while. It's incredibly, it's really relaxing to do. I do it while I'm watching, I don't live there anymore. I do it while I'm watching telly, or I was watching a Netflix series, How to Get Away with Murder with Viola Davis, and it was brilliant, really enjoyed it. Wow, what an actress. So yeah, you can do it when you're doing lots of things. So I'll come back to you in a bit and show you what I've done.
You have to feel the difference between the smooth skin and the flesh of the potato. There's so many things that a sighted person, which is me, does so casually.
With that in mind, I asked Amar Latif what he'd found in the way of inspiration when he was preparing for MasterChef.
There's some organisations out there, like the National Institute for the Blind, who have equipment that they sell that helps blind people cook. Now, some of the equipment doesn't work so well. Like, for example, the talking jug let me down a few times, so my food was getting messed up. But then you've got talking scales and stuff like that. There's a guide dog to the blind who are very, very supportive, and having a blind person.
Oh, I listen to Radio 4 a lot as well.
Hopefully inspires the organisations as well, and helps.
I wish they put more educational stuff on, because I really hate all the fucking opinions.
Blind people push to that next level that most people don't even imagine.
Near off the North Sea, so the further west, more in the way of sunshine, but it's not going to be a warm afternoon. Top temperatures generally between 2 and 4 degrees, factoring the strength and the direction of the wind. It's going to feel much, much colder. Now, as we go into Monday, it's a straightforward day, pretty much of sunshine and showers, but because the winds are coming in from the showers and organised lines of snow showers for some places. And that's what I mean by some people will see plenty of frequent snow showers and accumulation starting to tot up. Others will escape them altogether. Showers always most frequent at the east you are, otherwise a little more in the way of sunshine. Again, another windy day on Monday, feeling bitterly cold. Temperature on your thermometer, maybe 1 or 2 degrees above freezing. It'll feel like -4 or -5. Another showery day on Tuesday, but the showers drifting a little bit further north. Winds fall lighter on Wednesday, quieter, with a greater chance of more sunshine for all. That's your forecast.
Thanks, Louise. Leah there. The weather centre. Maybe it's the weather to stay in and watch the Attenborough.
On BBC
Goods would have arrived on Wednesday, but just as an example, it took almost 3 weeks to get one delivery.
Trade is completely illegal. Ireland is not doable on.
The agreement supposed to protect trade and peace is under fire. Is it working?
The idea that you can't move soil legally within your own country really brings us back to the question of what is a country and what is Northern Ireland's place now within the United Kingdom.
I asked the chair of the European Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee if compromise is possible. Also today, Mark keeps silence. The Secretary says he was influenced by the film Contagion, and look at the connection between film and politics. And the man behind the mission, the mayor of Bristol, Marvin Rees, on his friend, the Russian dissident Alexei Navalny.
During the fall, we took our children apple picking together. I remember us being sat on the back of a tractor trailer as we got pulled through the water. So a very human, very personal relationship at the time.
You see these records.
Scientists have expressed concern after the makers of the Oxford coronavirus vaccine say preliminary findings suggest its jab offers limited protection against mild disease caused by the South Africa variant. The government is set to provide reassurance, saying ministers are looking at ways of dealing with COVID variants in the long term. Here's our health correspondent, Jim Reid.
This research said the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine provided minimal protection against mild or moderate infection from the South African variant. Its efficacy against severe infection was harder to measure because there were too few cases in the trial. But the vaccine's developers said they were still confident it would stop hospital admissions and deaths. Professor Peter Openshaw at Imperial College London said based on limited data so far, it was concerning that a number of vaccines do appear to be less effective against this mutation. The team at Oxford are now working to tweak their jab to offer stronger protection. The government said an updated booster version of that and other vaccines could be rolled out as soon as this autumn.
The Shadow Attorney General, Lord Faulkner, has apologised after he was quoted in the Mail on Sunday describing the pandemic as a gift that keeps on giving the lawyers. Lord Faulkner said his comment made during the briefing of the York City law firm last June had referred specifically to the pace at which the government was changing the law, but he told the BBC he very much regretted his choice of words and was sorry. The government has rejected claims that loads taken to the EU by lorry drivers have fallen by more than 2/3 since the end of the Brexit transition period last month. The Road Haulage Association wants the Cabinet Office Minister, Michael Gove, to intervene urgently to tackle what it calls the enormous challenge facing supply chains. In response, Mr Gove's department said it didn't recognise the RHA's figures and freight movements were now close to normal. At least 9 people have died in northern Italy and scores are missing after parts of a Himalayan glacier broke away, triggering huge floods. The surging water swept away a dam in Italy state and poured into the valley below. Dozens of villages have been evacuated and rescuers are trying to reach workers trapped inside a tunnel. Our South Asia correspondent, Regina Aldianadan, sent this report.
Dramatic video footage shows the Nanda Devi Glacier in the Himalayas bursting this morning. Water can be seen gushing down the valley, leaving damage and destruction. Roads and buildings have been destroyed and floodwaters are rising. Officials say 2 power plants, employing more than 150 people, were also hit. Many of the workers remain unaccounted for. In a tweet, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he was constantly monitoring the situation and that the nation stood with the people of Uttarakhand.
Up to 100,000 demonstrators have gathered in Myanmar's main city Yangon for a second day of protest, demanding the release of the elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi. She's not been seen since the military overthrew her government last Monday. Some demonstrators held red balloons while many flashed the three-finger salute, which has become a symbol of defiance against authoritarianism in the region. Our Southeast Asia correspondent Jonathan Head is following developments.
Shots were fired by the police to disperse the crowd in one border town, but so far no injuries have been reported. 6 days after their coup, the military is now facing open defiance across the country, and it's gaining momentum. There was even a noisy motorbike rally in the capital, Naypyidaw, the army's fortress-like stronghold. At times, the authorities
Three-finger
shut down most of the
salute.
internet,
The three-finger
but that
salute.
hasn't worked. Everyone
Right, last
fears
one.
what may come next. The military has killed thousands before to shore up its power.
Oh,
It may do so again.
from Chris and Hannah.
Cricket and England remain in a strong position in the first test against India in Chennai. They were all out for 578 in their first innings. Exclusively on the third day, India had made 257 for 6 in wicket.
Ali, thank you. The President of the European Commission will hold more talks this week on the operation of the Northern Ireland Protocol, a diplomatic device designed to prevent the return of a hard border in Ireland. Cabinet Office Minister Michael Gove acknowledged earlier in the week that the empty shelves in some Belfast supermarkets represent something more serious than teething problems after Brexit. And the issue has been especially sensitive since the EU briefly invoked the emergency brake norms after the 16-week protocol last weekend to stop vaccines leaving the EU. This morning, the Champagne President Mary Lou MacDonald had this morning for Westminster.
Just mirror his card that's coming out. It's because there's this little bit that's coming on here, but it's got some really important news on that little flap, so I'm going to have to adjust it somehow because I don't want to cut it off. I might put it on the back. Yes, cool. Alright, so once you've got that stack, follow the next video for the sewing, because the sewing is a really easy, satisfying bit. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video. I find it really relaxing, stops me worrying too much. Well, can't really not worry too much because of the way things are, but it definitely helps my mental health. So thanks for watching. Oh, and it's also lovely to do to show your books like this.